A very warm welcome to our Digital Dialogue webinar series. Please note, these webinars are being recorded. After these sessions, you can access those recordings and the presentations shared throughout our website. We will share that link afterwards. In this series, we're exploring the latest trends in digital transformation. And more importantly, we're looking at how digitization can actually allow us to overcome some of the most pertinent challenges that we're facing in our ever-changing world, especially when it comes to things as important as sustainability and protecting our environment. I'm Rose Westby, Director for Digital Transformation at ABB and your moderator for this series. In this session this morning, we're joined by our CTO, Amina Hamidi, who is here to share with us the most important topic that might be on all of your lips, the topic of sustainability. And the topic is really, how are we going to achieve those very ambitious sustainability targets that are being set in that world today? As well as sharing her insights, Amina is here as well to answer your questions. Now, please don't hesitate to use the Q&A panel available to you in this WebEx to actually pose your questions directly to Amina. We will have time to cover them at the end, and I'm sure Amina will be delighted to answer them for you. With that, it is my pleasure to hand over to our guest, Amina. Over to you.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. And I'm really glad to be here with you today. And to speak about a topic that is close to my heart, about sustainability, what we are doing about it. Yeah, you know, at ABB, we believe it's our responsibility to leave behind us a world that is at least as healthy, as prosperous as the one we inherited from the generations behind us. And the challenges are there. We know that big steps are needed to reach a completely sustainable economy, but we believe that we are contributing to get there faster. We are contributing in different ways with different targets, one of them being helping to reduce the carbon emissions, those harmful emissions. The other one is to help safeguard and protect the natural resources, reducing waste, increasing efficiencies, thinking, for example, about circular economy. The third one is to act in an ethical way, to act in a human way, in the way we conduct our business. And we demonstrate our strong attachment to this sustainability also in different ways. First of all, in our operations, in our own way, how we run our factories, how we run our value chain. And then, as much as we know it's the right things to do to really work in a sustainable way, we think it's also a business model. It's a new business opportunity. And we think the biggest impact we can make is to develop solutions, products, also digital solutions for our customers to make them more sustainable. And this way we are really multiplying and globalizing that approach to a higher sustainability. So if we look at the different sustainability targets, ABB is supporting the Paris Agreement that was signed in November 2016 with the aim to reduce the global warming. But also ABB is supporting what we call the Sustainability Development Goals that were put in place by the United Nations. Those are 17 goals which represent a blueprint towards a more peaceful and prosperous world in 2030. While we are attached to all those goals, we focus our efforts in ABB and in ABB Electrification on those 7 goals that you see now on the screen. So it's about water and wastewater, it's about energy, it's about work, how we work, it's about industry, it's about cities, smart and sustainable cities of the future. It's about that whole production and consumption and managing the waste. And also it's about how we partner, how we collaborate with each other, because to reach those goals, it needs a collaboration from the economic and business community to support. What you see on the screen also are three of those goals, number 9, 11, and 12, where I will put a bit more focus in the following slides and in the rest of my presentation. So in ABB Electrification, we address a number of market sectors, and we are quite active in transport and infrastructure, industry, and buildings. Those sectors, as you see on the slide here, are generating a high amount of carbon emissions in general. And we are putting in place, technologies, product solutions to reduce those carbon emissions, to increase efficiencies, to use cleaner energy, to use less energy, reduce waste in those sectors. And I will guide you through some examples of our activities in each of those. So to start with, let's speak about transport. 24% of CO2 emissions globally are generated by transport. Transport does not mean only cars. It's road transportation, it's rail, it's water, it's air. And ABB is active in many of those, developing solutions which are increasing the efficiencies. But today I wanted to pause and look into the road transportation. Imagine a city that is clean from all air pollution. Remember, maybe many of you have lived it, those very tough lockdown times where you could go out, no cars, not much pollution, that's completely blue sky. So imagine we are living in a world where in our cities, the cars are electric, and we live in much cleaner and healthier cities. So this is our aim, to increase the adoption of electric cars in the cities of tomorrow for a healthier environment for our kids. What do we need to get there? The adoption of electric vehicles has increased in the last years, but it's not there where we expect it to be yet. What we need are high-performance electric cars, which are also affordable to buy by the biggest number of people. And our partners, car manufacturers and OEMs are working in this direction, and we are supporting as much as we can. The second point is how you charge your electric car. You need a charging infrastructure that is available in sufficient way around you or on your routes, that is reliable, and that is also fast, so that you can charge your car in a very fast way. And here, ABB is developing these high-power, fast electric car chargers, and our latest technology is able to charge a car for 200 kilometers autonomy in just 8 minutes. So really pioneering in the fast charging infrastructure. And that's a must. You need to feel comfortable taking your car wherever you are going and being able to charge it in a reasonable time to continue your journey. The third point that is needed is the grid reinforcement. When everybody will adopt the electric car, you need to be able to integrate in the electric grid, and that's thanks really to the digital technologies that are making that grid smarter and able to manage the energy sources and the energy consumption points. And I will come a bit more in detail to that point. And the last but not the least is really to be able to use clean energy to charge your car. So the integration of more and more renewable energies. So those are the elements that are supporting a wider introduction of electric car. And if I pause a minute on the digital technologies that I was mentioning, we are developing energy management solutions. You heard yesterday, you will hear more today around that. And they are supporting, for example, facility managers into managing that supply and use of electric energy to charge the cars. Imagine you are that facility manager. The monitoring and control system can help you use the energy as much as possible when the tariffs are lower to optimize your energy bill, for example, or also manage the timing when you charge your cars and when you use other equipment so that you don't overwhelm your electric installation. So you don't need to over-dimension it. So with the limits of the scale of your electric installation, you can manage those additional consumption points that are the chargers. So that's about the electric car and more, intelligent systems and energy management solutions that we can offer. We can also look into forecasting. You can forecast the consumption into the time in order to prepare the energy for that. You can monitor. You can do really a number of things that help you optimize the use, optimize the infrastructure, optimize the energy bill, and have the energy at the moment where you need it. Now, let's give one of the case studies. I was speaking about cars, but of course, not only the private cars shall be electric, but we speak also about electric buses. And one nice example is in Sweden. You know, the Swedish government wants to have Sweden as carbon neutral by 2050. And we are supporting in deploying the electrification of the buses. This is the example of a collaboration with Volvo, where we are putting in place electric chargers that are charging the buses from the top. You see on the picture from the pantograph going down, charging the buses during their journey at several charging points where in 3 to 6 minutes you are able to charge. So this is really high power charging, 450 kilowatts to charge those buses in very short time so that they can continue their journey. 157 buses are put in place in those 3 cities. I try to say the names of the cities, but you have them on the screen, Gothenburg and the other ones. To do that, we are supporting with 19 high-power electric chargers deployed this year in 2020. So really an ambitious and very nice example of electrification of the bus system in Sweden. So you can imagine ABB has been in that market, in that business for over a decade with high-power electric vehicle chargers. We have delivered over 14,000 chargers around the world in more than 80 countries. And no other supplier has reached those levels. We are really leading in this area. 2 large examples of projects, one in America, Electrify America, where we are supplying the chargers to over 17 metropolitan areas. It's a very large project with hundreds of fast chargers able to charge in 15 minutes. And then a large project also being deployed in Europe in 24 countries. This is the Ionity project with over 300 chargers as well. So you will hear more about our electric vehicles infrastructure and our support to the adoption of the electric vehicles to the wider market in the next presentations today. So now let me move to the next topic. It's about industry. ABB is active in many industrial areas, We are supporting our customers with solutions for their processes to make them more efficient, to make smarter factories. But we are also using those technologies in our own factories to make them smarter, more efficient, and really trying to what we call our mission to zero carbon emissions, to make them self-sufficient in terms of energy and carbon neutral. And the flagship of our activities there is our Ludenscheid factory. I let you hear a video to show you what we are doing in that factory in Germany. So you have seen our example of the Ludenscheid factory. It's not a one-off. We are working on more factories to make them smarter and more sustainable. And it's really part of our mission to zero vision. Now let me move to the next sector, which is the buildings. When we speak buildings, it's about residential and commercial buildings. So building green is no longer a luxury option. It's now regarded as a standard. You know, the tenants, the builders, they are going for those sustainable options as really the new standard of how they are building our next places where we live and work in the future. And those smart buildings or smartness in buildings is not something new. I remember maybe 10, 20 years ago, my HVAC, my heat and ventilation system at home, was already optimizing the energy consumption and having a sort of intelligence. We had also at home those light systems that go on and off according to presence and so on. So a certain level of intelligence has been there for buildings for many, many years. We have also in the recent years more intelligence in the door entry systems. Imagine today you could be on vacation and then you could see on your smartphone who is ringing at your door, who is delivering a parcel into your home while you are not there. You could also decide to fix the temperature of your house, to start warming it before coming into it. So there are many things that we are able to do today. And the future advances that we see in buildings are now bringing all those sort of separate verticals together on digital cloud and managing the building from the energy point of view and also from the comfort point of view. So imagine you have a holistic view of all the resources of your building. being it the heat, water, gas consumption, electricity consumption, and then all the elements of your comfort and safety and security that are all managed with one management system, giving you on a fingertip the overview of where you are, how much you are consuming, how much you can save. You know, the monitoring piece is very important. How much you can improve your comfort in your building. And there are many, many new technologies coming in that sector. It's very, very active sector with the new technologies around artificial intelligence and machine learning. So I really see that there will be much more energy management there. And imagine, you know, you can save in the 20 to 30% even more energy by applying those energy management solutions. Now, one example again of a real project, and this is not a new modern building. These are historic buildings, and that's why I like the example. The city of Zaragoza in Spain is going digital, is going smart, and ABB is supporting the city in that journey. We have a project with the city where we are supporting enhancing the digital technology and putting 4 major historical buildings connected to the cloud to be able to do energy management, energy monitoring, and to comply with the ISO 50001 standard. Those 4 historic buildings are and now I'm reading the historical seminario of Zaragoza, which houses today the city hall offices, and then the main city hall, the main police station, and the technology and art center. So what we are doing is that we are equipping the electric distribution system of these buildings with the technology that we call Equip App, that is then connecting them to the ABB Ability Digital Platform. So that's really a retrofit kit that you put on existing equipment, able to connect you then to the digital platform, able then to monitor the energy to help you optimize the energy consumption. And by doing so, we are able to save up to 30% of operational costs. So very, very nice example, because it shows you that we can also do retrofit. We can also bring those historical buildings into the digital era. So that's about, you know, the 3 examples I wanted to speak about. I was more focusing on the energy efficiency, on the intelligent layer, the digital layer we are putting there to support in the CO2 emission reduction. But ABB has a wider approach to sustainability, and sustainability itself by nature is really a much wider topic. So we are also working towards supporting our customers increase the life cycle of their infrastructure equipment in order to reduce the waste, also supporting in the direction of circular economy, but also remember what I was saying in the very beginning of this presentation, the way how we interact, how we act responsibly, ethically, how we treat our people and their well-being, how we promote the human rights. This is all part of it, part of the sustainability mission of everyone. And this is really the final note I wanted to leave you with. Let's act all together, because it's not one or the other who can change it. It's all of us together acting in a responsible way to prepare for our kids tomorrow a healthier and more sustainable environment. So that's from my side. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer any questions from the audience.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Amina. And thank you very much to our audience members who are already starting, we see, to send through their questions to you. But let's kick off right away with something quite, let's call it tangible here. What do you think right now has the biggest potential to really reduce the amount of energy we're using and reduce our CO2 emissions?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thanks, Rose. I think, and I keep thinking about it, also in my personal life at home with my kids, what can I do to help the planet the most? What is the one single thing? And honestly speaking, I don't think there is a one single thing that is saving then the planet. I think it's the sum, the addition of many small things. And it really starts by understanding where we are consuming the biggest amount of energy, where we are creating the amounts of CO2. So it starts with monitoring, understanding. I think once we get really conscious of where we are harming what, each one of us will have a different life or different business, and will have different points where he can impact. But really, the first thing is to monitor, to understand. And then you know exactly in your particular case, in your particular life, what is the biggest lever for you. And as I said, in many, many sectors, each one, if everyone is contributing a little bit, the sum will be a big one.
Perfect. Thank you, Amina. So you mentioned the Ludenscheid Mission to Zero. That's one of ABB's facilities. Are ABB doing anything to do a similar effort with additional factories of ABB or additional facilities that ABB have?
Absolutely. It's a big program, our Mission to Zero, and we are really standing behind it. We are working on multiple factories in parallel, and you will hear more and more through our communications about the new factories that are joining. But there will be a number of them, and very, very soon.
Very exciting, Amina. I can't wait to hear about it. So we talked a little bit about the fact that this is a team effort, right? You mentioned it in your answer just there. A team effort, we all have to do a bit of a part in order to get this target reached together. On that point, then, what are the technology requirements that we have, that we need to see in the market in the next few years in order for us to actually reach those targets? What technology evolutions should we start seeing?
Yeah. As I said, the technologies are evolving. They are evolving as we speak. The digital technologies are of course, a very big pillar of that whole journey, because it adds intelligence, it adds monitoring capabilities, it adds optimization capabilities. So in that journey of reducing the waste, reducing energy consumption, being more efficient. And yeah, I was speaking about artificial intelligence, about machine learning, and those all will be supporting technologies. One thing on the electric vehicle, for example, there is the battery technology, of course, where we are seeing a large evolution in terms of price of the battery, of the autonomy, the size, the lifetime, but also recycling. So all those are evolutions that are coming and that are, of course, needed to improve day after day. And then, there are also new technologies in terms of materials, greener materials that we can use, technologies to support us integrate more renewable energy, making those renewable energies more seamlessly integrating into the grids that are becoming more complex in the future, and becoming also, we need those technologies also to become cheaper in the future. So really, it's a continuous evolution, and things are improving every day as we speak, and that's the beauty of it.
Fantastic. Well, I believe that's all we have time for, unfortunately. But thank you so much, Amina. And thank you very much to our audience as well for taking the time to join us. Now, when we finish this session, you will be prompted to fill in a very short survey with feedback on the webinar. We'd be very grateful if you would take the moment just to fill that in. But otherwise, we will be hosting for the rest of today and tomorrow these digital dialogues. We hope you can take the time to join us again. And we hope, of course, that you've enjoyed this session with Amina Hamidi. And we do hope that until the next time we meet, you stay safe and well. Thank you very much. Thank you, Amina.
Thank you.